Hi everybody, welcome to Sports for All. I'm your host Eden, and today I've got a really exciting guest. So did you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Eden. I'm James Rimmer. I am a senior strategist at a brand and social impact agency called We Are Futures. But before that, I worked as a PE teacher for 7 years in Devon and London. And before that, I studied sports science at Exeter University. And you'll find out, but I've had a whole life of sport. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Amazing, thanks James. So excited to have you and so nice to see you as well. So do you want to tell us a bit about your sports background, how you got involved in sport and how that kind of led you to working as a PE teacher, etc.?
Yeah, well, I'm obsessed, frankly, Eden. I absolutely love sport and I've always been involved from an early age. I think my mum tell a story of me when I was very young, like 5, 6, 7, I'm not really sure, but very young, bowling out my godfather in cricket, who was a club cricketer. And I've got pictures of me as a baby with a cricket bat in my hand and running around kind of local parks and kicking a football around. So for me, that's all I've known really. And at school, I kind of played everything. I think I played about 13 sports at school, but my main sports are kind of filtered down over a number of years for cricket and football. Football mainly from a kind of fan and watching perspective, and then cricket more from a playing focus. And that eventually became like major focus at university, where I played a pretty decent standard with some great players who, a few of them are professional players now. And then got to the end of university and wanted to really combine this love of sport with my other passion, which is people and specifically young people and helping and working with young people. And so I became a PE teacher.
Amazing, thank you so much. Quite a journey. I love it. So my next question is, who have been some of your big inspirations, both in sport but also outside of sport?
Yeah, such a
Big
good
question.
question. Yeah, it got me to reflect on everything really in terms of who shaped me. I don't know how deep to go here, but I suppose within sport, my dad is a huge influence on me. He used to work actually at both Portsmouth and Bournemouth football clubs. I support Portsmouth, sadly for me. They're doing a little bit better now, but I used to go to all of the home games and watch my favourite players play, and every so often I would be able to meet some of them as well. So I was in and around professional sport and sport a lot, and that really influenced me because all my friends at school were Portsmouth fans as well. And it was just a really exciting time because they were doing well in the Premier League and in Europe as well. And then I suppose moving through into secondary school, we moved down to Dorset near Bournemouth, and my school was very strong for sport. I did okay at school, but I was always just wanted to be playing sport and in PE lessons as well. I really excelled. And it was the teachers there that I absolutely loved and looked up to. The head of PE, Mr. Crutchley, was one of my big role models. Just thought he was a fantastic man, someone that I could really get along with as well at school. I just thought that they had the best job ever, just wearing t-shirt and shorts, basically running around playing sport all day long. And then outside of sport, there are so many different people that I've had the privilege of either being mentored by or having as a role model. But my faith is really important to me as a Christian. So I've had loads of fantastic mentors and role models within the churches that I've attended, mainly as youth workers who've really supported and encouraged me. And I think that's the whole picture really, because I think you can play sport and be fantastic at it, but actually you need to build your character and build your personality and build you as a human too. So I've been fortunate enough to have some fantastic people around me to kind of help shape me and help guide me in the right way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think having those people is like so important. And then being that person as well. I feel like once you kind of learn from their experiences, you can kind of be that person as well. So my next question is, what have been some of your big achievements in sport over the years? Probably another quite big question.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've broken them up into a few different buckets because sport, as I've explained it in my life, has come in a few different guises. So it's been individual, it's been as part of lots of different teams, and it's also been from a teaching and coaching perspective. So at university, I played lots of cricket there. As a team, we had a really successful year when I was in my second year. and we reached the final of Bucks, which is the big kind of university national competition. And we played in a league where you had kind of semi-professional funded and supported teams at other universities, and we were in that league, and they were called MCCUs, so supported centrally by the ECB and the MCCUs. If you're listening, you have no idea what that is, then basically the kind of people that run cricket. And there were lots of kind of people on the pathway to being professionals in those teams, and we were the first on MCC university to reach the final uh, in years. And it was just a really special year as a team that we set this target because we knew we had a talented squad, but we knew we had to work super hard, and we trained like really, really hard all year, waking up super early. I was still able to go out of university, but just slightly less so, which for me was a big thing at uni. We lost the final, but it felt like a huge achievement to even get there. It was just nice to celebrate all of that hard work, and the journey itself was worth it as a team. Individually, I've kind of taken up loads of different sports in recent years. Um, so triathlon was one. A couple of years ago, I completed an Ironman triathlon, which if you don't know is like a really crazy mad challenge. I think it's 3.8K swim, then you cycle 180 kilometers, and then you run a marathon, like all in one go. And it took me a while, but the training itself was like the brutal bit because I had to wake up basically every day, 6 or earlier for a whole year, and that was just to finish it. And we raised some money for charity, me and my brother, and it was something that we've always wanted to do, and I'm really proud of us for managing to do that. And then finally, my main achievement from teaching, even though I had loads of amazing experiences, came into contact with loads of young people. I ran the cricket at my school, and we had loads of young people at the school who loved it, like loads of boys who loved cricket, but there were no teams at all when I came in. And after 5 years, we managed to build like a whole cricket program. We had over 50 fixtures, we had over 70. We improved the local facilities, and there are loads of young people from that time who are now still playing cricket. So for me, it was about kind of building that love for the game and allowing them to have the confidence to join clubs outside of school and still be playing. And they might be able to coach other people along the way, talk about their inspirations, and inspire other young people to take up the game and love it as well, as much as I and they do. So I think it kind of all speaks to similar thing, which is about development and the journey and working together, working towards a goal. I think that's what I love about sport.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I think like it's so interesting to see that kind of inspiring them from a young age and like you were saying, like be able to take that further is so powerful. So my next question is what skills have you learned from being involved and how have they helped you? Obviously you've worked in a variety of different roles, but how have they helped you in like your career and also life?
Yeah, totally. I think the job I do now, which I'll come on to talk about in a bit, and from when I was teaching, I recognize actually that even just being able to move and having the freedom to go out your front door and go for a run is such a privilege. And I think having the knowledge that I gained through playing all that time, going to university to study it as well, being involved in loads of different contexts and sport, so the knowledge and the confidence to like participate in sport and just do it. You go and try all these different things. Like I went and played tennis the other day and didn't think about it, and I didn't think about the fact that I might have needed a racket because I already had one. I didn't think about where I needed to go because I had a friend who loves playing tennis. And I just think being in a position where I have that confidence is a huge privilege. Like my dad, for example, when he goes to the gym, he's super active, but he lacks in confidence to know necessarily what to do in relation to weights. So I think he just ends up going on the treadmill. Bless him. He'll probably be listening to this and think, "Oh man, he's rumbled me." But it's so true, and he's like an active person, and I think the massive problem in today's society is that like lack of knowledge and confidence to be able to do it. I think people do want to be active and they do want to try different stuff, but often they don't have time or they don't have the support or the money or the confidence to go and do it. So I think that's a big thing for me, just feeling privileged to be in that position and be in a position where I can talk to people about it as well. And then other than that, I think the constant practice of winning, but also losing loads in
Yeah.
loads of like I've lost so many games of sport, so many different times I've not done well. And actually, but I've done well as well in loads of different ways. And I think this prepares you so well for life because every day is up and down. And there's so many things that you win at and lose at every single day. And that gives you a really healthy perspective on life and gives you a resilience when actually challenges do come up, which is all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Resilience is so big and you need it like every single day to be able to get through your day. So my next question is, what are the big barriers and challenges that you think young people face getting involved, but also staying involved in sport? And do you have any advice for them about how they can overcome those challenges?
Eden, all the big questions today. We could be here forever on this one, couldn't we? There's so as you've heard, this is an area that I feel super passionate about, and it's where I want to put my time in relation to work. So it brings me on to my current role with We Are Futures, who are a fantastic agency who do this all the time with some brilliant clients and some amazing projects. So the company exists to effectively create social impact amongst young people, and they do this in loads of different ways. So they run incredible programs that address problems in society in relation to finance literacy, in relation to employment, in relation to the skills gaps, in relation to a sector. But one of the stream of programs that they do is with activity and movement and physical activity. So I've worked on some great campaigns with Shaw, the deodorant brand, and at the moment we're working with Team GB and Paralympics GB on their program called Get Set, which is amazing and has done so many amazing things on the back of the London 2012 Olympics. Um, and the aim of that is to try and get young people basically to live healthier and happier and more active kind of every single day. And I think from working with the people there and from my time working with young people, having the opportunity and access to sport are super key in enabling them to actually participate. They actually need that awareness in the first place that they can join a club, and often it's free. I think a lot of people think you have to spend loads of money to get into this sport, or you have to be really good, or you have to know someone. But actually, there's so much going on all the time, and it's partly our job to raise awareness that these things are going on. But you can just search online and go along to something, and it's very much free, and there's funding in place for you if that's what you want to do. Joining a community event or going to an after school club at school, going to their local sports centre for free. When I used to live in Peckham, the council basically they did like free swimming at Peckhamplex every weekend. You could just go along, and I didn't know about it for 4 years, and I was absolutely gutted. So having that awareness is really important. And then confidence, yeah, like how are we as people and leaders in sport giving them enough confidence to be active themselves and to motivate them so that they can motivate themselves to go and take part. And I think education is crucial here, and it's paired, with a great school education of young people and inspiration from the teachers there, but also equipping parents at the same time so that they don't go home and are met with a difficult situation there that isn't enabling them the inspiration that they might have experienced in school to then have a barrier to go and participate outside of school. So we've got to work as a team, as a community, to raise young people to love sport. But I think we've got to do more here. As part of my journey, I talked about the importance of role models, and I know on this podcast you talked about it a lot. And they can have such an impact. I think this is a personal one for me, but if we can really support teachers and coaches and people that give up their time to spend um, nurturing the next generation of kind of sports people, and give them value within society, that's going to make such a massive difference in inspiring young people to take up and movement and move more. So I would love to see kind of increased opportunities in local communities. I think it would make a massive difference to young people. But again, like I'm not sitting at governance policy level. It's just really investing in those leaders. I mean, I don't have a magic wand. I don't necessarily know how to do that, but I just think it's important to recognize those people too. Anyway, that I've talked a lot there, Eden. Apologies for
Yeah, no, there's
going
so
on.
much in that, and I think you're so right. Investing that time, investing that energy into supporting teachers, coaches, and giving them those opportunities as well. And like you were saying about the awareness about the different clubs and the free things out there, I've been learning so much recently as well that's been out
Yeah.
there that is accessible for young people that maybe people just don't know about because it's not being talked about. So yeah, I definitely think that there is more opportunities out there, but there can still be instances where it could be better as well. That was a great answer, thank you. So my last question is, this is another big one. What advice would you give to a young person who wants to get involved in sport, be that through participating or also getting a career in sport as well?
Yeah. I think it's really easy to say, but just giving it a go, just go for it. It's such like a vague and horrible answer because a lot of young people then turn back and say, well, how, how do I do that? I think it's in reality, it's like saying, and it can come across this way, but it's saying go to someone who's never run before, go out and run a marathon. I think I'm not like saying that. I think it's just make that first step, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. If you do want to develop your running, for example, just leave the house and go on a walk, and halfway through, run from one lamppost to another one, and then the next day, run from another lamppost to another lamppost, or run it to the furthest lamppost, and every day it will get easier and easier and easier and you'll enjoy it more. I think that's in relation to things like running and being active. But actually, there are so many sports and activities that you might have always wanted to give a go, but you just never have. And I would encourage you to look around and see what is out there and just often turn up and ask the question and have a go. Like climbing, for example, there are loads of centres around. Ice skating. I mean, we're talking about play. People might live in rural settings and they might not be able to access these things, but have a look and see what is available to your local area. I think the thing that can really help make you feel like you're not doing it alone is take a mate with you as well for support and do it together. Make this your new school year resolution that you're going to give one thing a go until Christmas. And even if it's one thing, that's better than not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone now knows the benefits of taking part in physical activity. And your clubs will be putting on loads of stuff. Maybe this is the year that you try something different, join a gym, go swimming at a local pool, go for a bike ride, join a local netball club. I really know from experience that you won't regret it. And I think it's a very simple message in relation to inspiring young people, wanting to give them confidence, and that is just give it a go. The other part of the question, wanting to go into a career, again, it's kind of like a just give it a go question, but it's pick a career that you really like the look of. Pick someone who's in a position that you might want to be in down the line. Message them on LinkedIn and ask if you want to have a quick call with them or go for a coffee if it's appropriate age-wise, right? Or, you can take your parent along if you need. And I guarantee, because people get scared of these situations, but I guarantee they would love, love, love to help you. And no doubt, Eden, you've spoken to some people that you thought, oh, I never like would have thought that I could have spoken to them, but actually just reaching out, these people want to help and they want to talk about their experience and they want to inspire other people because it's what they love doing most. So yeah, reach out to these people, have a look at what they're doing and you never know. You never know. That conversation might unlock a whole new train of thought or career, or it might shut it down for you, but it's all really useful. And you only regret the shots that you don't take.
That definitely makes sense. Taking that first step so like hard but so important, and like it
Mhm.
can like lead you down amazing paths, or maybe it doesn't, but you at least you've given it a go. Uh, Thank you so much, James, for coming on. It was so good to have you. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Eden. Absolutely loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If you want to connect with me further, you can find me on LinkedIn at Eden Byrne, and be sure to check out all the other amazing podcasts on Be the Change Media Network.